All right, so bracing. Many people talk about bracing in general for low back injuries, for weightlifting, yoga, Pilates. Many of them teach this sucking the belly button into the spine. Right, we're going to talk about what the proper strategy for bracing is when lifting and playing sports and running. Your core is a very important factor that creates stability. The goal of the brace in your core is to create stability around areas that need to move. So if my midsection, which is where you need to be bracing, if that is stable, then my arms and legs can be very mobile and do the job that they need to do. If my core is not stable, then that stability needs to come from somewhere, and the body will find a place to do this. And it doesn't mean that it's correct, it's usually a compensation. And over time, our body continues to do that, and then you start to break down and create this wear and tear, having an injury. Rehabbing and making sure you're going back to what the body's intended to do, which bracing with the core. Once you can get back to that, then everything else should fall in line. So again, the whole purpose is to create stability around producing force and strength in your extremities. When you land, and if you do not have a proper brace, your hip is probably going to drop, your knee is probably going to rotate inwards, your ankle is going to collapse. This over time creates wear and tear, and it also creates a pattern that many of you have heard of and maybe even have suffered with, IT band syndrome, where the muscle at the top of the IT band, the TFL, needs to create tension to make sure that the knee doesn't continue to collapse inwards. So the IT band gets tight to pull that leg outwards. So let me talk about bracing and what bracing is not. And I'm not talking about this style of bracing, at least. It's not sucking the belly button into the spine, as many of you have been taught through yoga and Pilates. That's their method. Continue doing it when you're doing that type of exercise. When you're lifting, when you are producing force or strength, you need to create stiffness around your spine in your core. And the way to do that is 360-degree bracing. And it looks like this, where the circumference of your waist increases in size. So you're pressing out and away to make your midsection bigger, 360 degrees. When you do this, you create a foundation to build and to use for strength and producing force. If you don't do that, then you dissipate the forces and they go to other joints. You compensate by trying to create stability in other areas that aren't intended for it. So making sure that you understand this, because I need to be very clear that when you're out there running, you shouldn't be bracing this way. You should basically come natural when you start to do this well and build strength in your core. Where you need to be practicing your brace is in the gym when you're lifting weights. And if you're not lifting weights, then you need to be. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to start doing to build strength around some of these areas, these common injuries, is building strength in the right areas. So applying the bracing strategy in the gym and getting strong in the gym is where you practice that, and then when you go out and run, it happens almost naturally. You shouldn't have to be thinking about it. So do a little bit of core bracing practice before you go out and run, and then go on your run and see how different you feel.